how hard can it be? And I could not believe it. Hi, I'm Pat and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On this video, I'm going to tell you how I turned these chairs into these chairs. So this is a little bit of story time, so make sure you grab a drink and a snack and we'll jump right into it. To get this story started, we have to rewind all the way back to about 8 months ago when I was just driving along, minding my own business, and out of the corner of my eye, I spotted these chairs. And I thought to myself, no, keep driving. You don't need any chairs. You don't need any chairs. But then I thought to myself, well, maybe if they're still there when I come back, I could just stop and look at them and see what they were, because they looked a little bit unique and I wanted to see. So on my way back from the store, I pulled over because the chairs were still sitting outside, and I thought to myself, how hard can it be? Looks like they just need a little bit of paint and some new fabric, and these will be great new dining room chairs. So I quickly sent a text message to one of my friends and I said, I think this is a bad idea, please encourage me. So sure enough, she was on board. She said, put those in your car, at least 2 of them. So because I have a small car, I was only able to fit 2 of them in my car, but I decided I wanted all 4 of them. So I went and I got all 4 of the chairs and I brought them home, and I thought, this can't be that hard. It's not gonna be that hard. This will just be a little bit of paint. I'll get some fabric. How hard can it be? Well, these chairs were not in great condition. So first step was to take them all apart. So I removed the back panels from each of the chairs, and then I took off the seats of each of the chairs to discover that they were made of particle board and they were broken and would need to be replaced. Then I proceeded to wash down the chairs because they had a little bit of a smell to them and a lot of dirt on them. So I scrubbed them all down, washed them, and then I got out my palm sander and I sanded down these chairs, and I sanded and I sanded and I sanded and I sanded some more, and I also took apart any parts of the chairs where they were broken or they were loose and they needed to be repaired or reinforced. And so I took them apart, I repaired the parts that needed to be fixed and put them back together and sanded them some more, and then I got out the primer. While I was working on repairing the chairs and getting them sanded down, I did a little bit of research and I decided I wanted to paint these chairs black, and I wanted to get a black and gold fabric to go with them. So I found a couple of inspiration photos and I did a little bit of research, and I got some primer. And before you paint something black, you want to use a tinted primer. And so I primed all the chairs and made sure that they were nice and smooth. It seems like it took forever to paint these chairs. I didn't really consider that each chair has 4 legs, it has 4 sides, and each of the backs has 4 posts that each have 4 sides, and then the chair also has 4 sides which each have 4 sides, and there's a lot of different sides that you have to paint.
Walk out the door, you see someone that you know and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It just took a really long time to paint everything very accurately. So you'll see in this video, I just painted for days and days and days. I was painting and painting and painting and painting, painting and painting and painting, painting and painting and painting, painting and painting and painting. After I had the chairs painted black and I was happy with the result, I moved on to the gold leafing. So you'll see in the video, I added gold leaf on a couple of different spots on the chairs. Along the back, there was some engraving on the wood, and there was little posts that I wanted to add accents to. So you'll see that I added that using the gold leafing adhesive. So you start with an adhesive that you paint on, and then you put the gold leaf on, and then you wait for it to dry, and then you buff it off with a brush, and then you need to seal it with a gold leaf sealer. So I did that across all 4 of the chairs, and I was really happy with how that turned out. Definitely highly recommend, if you have the patience and you are able to be very still and very focused, I guess. Gold leafing is very difficult. The gold leaf itself is very hard to work with, because if you breathe or there's any breeze, or if you move suddenly, it doesn't lay how you're hoping and it flies away and it breaks, and gold leaf is really tricky to work with. So it's definitely something that you need to do when you're feeling calm and want to do a nice calming activity. Gold leafing can be really frustrating because it's lighter than air. It just flies away and it's really hard to work with, but I did manage to get some good results with the chairs, and I was really happy with how they turned out in the end. You just need to remember no breathing, no blinking, no moving, no fans, no heat, no pets, no people. Pretty much you need to have a completely still environment, and then you also need to do the gold leafing without moving. So good luck. After I was finished with the gold leafing, I moved on to building the seats and the back panels for the chairs. So the seats were broken and so were the back panels, and so I needed to replace the wood as the base, and I also got high density foam, and then I cut that out to the right shape, and I found some great fabric on Amazon that I ordered that was black and gold that I was really excited about. The fabric that I found on Amazon was actually a tablecloth, and then I cut it to the right size, and I measured the back panels and the seats, and I decided that 4 feet by 8 feet would be enough fabric. I did not take into consideration that the fabric had a pattern on it, and I wanted the pattern to be centered. So I managed to get about half of it done, and then I realized I wouldn't have enough fabric, and I was really, really discouraged about this. That's okay, because I got more fabric, and then I continued to finish the project. So now, for some reason, I thought that reupholstering chairs was going to be really easy, but it turns out it's actually quite a difficult task. So I didn't think about how many different supplies and how many different tools would be involved for the process when I picked these chairs up off the side of the road, and I thought, oh, this will be great. So I went to find my staple gun, which I searched high and low for, and I could not find it anywhere. So once I got a new staple gun, I was able to start actually doing the upholstery. So for the upholstery, you have to wrap the fabric around and staple it, and if you've ever taken apart a chair or a piece of furniture with upholstery, you'll notice that there's about 150 million staples involved. And I thought that was really overkill, and I didn't understand why until I actually started doing upholstery. And of course, you don't want the fabric to move, so you need to make sure you use a lot of staples. To actually reupholster the seats of the chairs, you need to start by stapling one edge with one staple and pull the fabric tight across, and then staple the other edge with one staple, and then do the edges, the other sides, so that you're getting the fabric really tight. And those initial 4 staples, very likely you will end up having to pull out after, because as you're stapling in all of the fabric and it's getting tighter and tighter, those initial staples tend to get loose, or the fabric around them gets loose, so you need to remove them and restaple the middle ones. Those initial 4 staples just hold it in place. Okay, so I've got the chairs repaired, sanded, primed, painted, gold leafed, and half upholstered, and I ran out of fabric. I had been making really good progress, and right around that time I was driving along, and out of the corner of my eye I spotted some chairs on the side of the road, and I could not believe it. I pulled over and I thought, no, I don't need any more chairs. And then I kept driving, but I thought, if they're there when I come back, I'm gonna stop. And when I came back, they were there. And so I took a couple of pictures, and I sent a text message to my friend, and I said, I think this is a bad idea, but please encourage my bad decisions. And she said, I at least take 2. And so that's how I got 4 more chairs. So if you're keeping track, now I have 8 chairs. This second set of chairs had almost the same fabric on it, and they actually were also in not very good condition, but I took them apart, I sanded them, and I repaired them, and I primed them, and I painted them, and I gold leafed them, and I found coordinating matching fabric that you'll see at the end of the video for those chairs as well. I did not film every single bit of the process for the second set of chairs because I had already been through so much with the first set. I thought, this is crazy. This is crazy. So once I got over the fact that I was gonna have to buy double the amount of fabric, and that I was actually working on 8 chairs and not just 4 chairs, which more than doubled the cost of the project, I did continue to work on this, and you'll see that I finished building the seats of the chairs, and then I managed to get the back panels done with the batting and the fabric and a hot glue gun. And I'm really, really happy with how they turned out, but it did take me quite a really long time. So that's how I ended up getting 8 new chairs and refinishing all of them. While I was working on these chairs, I realized that they would not actually fit around my existing dining room table. So I started hunting for a dining room table as well, and I did find one on the side of the road that would have been free, but it was in really terrible condition, and I don't think I would have been able to restore it. So I let that one go, and I just bought a new dining room table, which you'll see in these photos. Although I had no prior skills or knowledge on how to reupholster and refinish antique chairs, I feel like I did a pretty good job, and I'm really happy with the results. I probably won't be rushing into reupholstering furniture again anytime soon because it took way longer than I thought, and it was a lot harder than I thought, but I'm super happy and very proud of the results. So that's the story of how I found 8 chairs for free and refinished them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The links are in the description down below. And I'll see you for another video next time. Bye!